Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the viewers of Democratic Dialogues. This is me, Dev Surbi Yaduvanshi,
Yes, so we are back. Sorry for the
Yeah,
disruption.
I lost sound in between.
Yes, sorry for the disruption. There's a bit of a thing. Sorry. So I'm joined by a very distinguished guest. So we're starting up again. Shri Elvis Gomes, who's a former bureaucrat and a Congress leader. He has served in the Goa state services for a very long time. He had a tenured career, and he's also been politically very, very active for the past many years, speaking up on people's issues. He has contested elections, and of course, Elvis Gomes is also known for standing up for people's issues. At the time that it is very relevant, and also otherwise, he keeps speaking up. So, warm welcome to you, Elvis, to Democratic Dialogues.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My
So,
pleasure.
Elvis, today I wanted to have a conversation with you. It's the overarching issue ongoing right now in our country, which is about the vote chori, the fraudulent activity that is taking place via our electoral rolls. And this is, as Rahul Gandhi ji, he rightly claimed, it was an atom bomb that fell on our democracy the day he took the press conference on 7th of August. How do you view the, first of all, how do you view the evidence that has been presented by Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, and how does it affect our democracy? Can you shed a bit of light on that quickly?
See, evaluating the evidence is a little later, but right now, all that I can say is that this story has been going on for quite some time,
Mhm,
and there were several instances which were pointing towards that. All that has happened is, people's radars or rather antennas were not tuned to capture
mhm,
what was going on for so long. I will just explain with an example in the Goa context what I mean to say.
mhm,
One fine day in the month of March, there was an order issued by the district election officer of the North Goa district. Now we have two Lok Sabha constituencies in Goa. One is north and one is south.
mhm,
The BLOs, the booth level officers of the constituency of Panaji, all the booth level officers, the entire block was replaced by a very innocuous order, which didn't come much in public domain. But some
mhm,
of the BLOs were rattled in the sense like everybody has been abruptly transferred. How could it be possible? So this issue reached me, and I applied my mind and I took up that issue. I sensed that something was amiss. First, I was a little taken aback in the sense whether it has been done in all the 40 constituencies. But when it was revealed that it is not the case, it is done only in one, then said perhaps they are experimenting something in one constituency, and had it to succeed, it would have got replicated in all the other constituencies. The issue is this: the booth level officers were replaced. Now, who is a booth level officer is very important. We can speak subsequently about that, but he becomes the key official in this entire electoral registration machinery. Now, all that we are
yes.
talking about is the electoral registration, and the BLO being a key official getting replaced, there was something very sinister in this.
Mhm,
So I approached the Election Commission of India and also the CEO office in Panaji. First, I did not understand what they were up to until I paid a visit. So there I realized that they were working on it. They tried to seek information from the district election officer, who is the collector of the district, and they were up to their job. Here I would say that, okay, I can give some credit to the ECI machinery in Goa that they were actively pursuing my complaint.
Mhm.
So much so that they were asking repeatedly for answers. The answers were not forthcoming from the collector's office, that is the DEO's office.
Mhm.
And incidentally, Mr. Rahul Gandhi came up with a write up, and which I got to read in the Indian Express, Maharashtra match fixing.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
it was around 7th of June. That write up, on that day, I happened to take a press conference and I said, see, this is what has happened in Panaji. I've been seeking answers. The answers have not been forthcoming. I produced all the correspondence before the media and
Mhm.
also add to that this article of Maharashtra match fixing.
Mhm.
Something triggered after that at Delhi. And the ECI at Delhi wrote a missive to the ECI in Goa that look,
Mhm.
if no reply is received, then we will have to look at it very seriously. And that is the time
Mhm.
the DEO summarily issued an order
Mhm.
stating that booth level officers transfers order is kept in abeyance. So that was a huge success in
Mhm.
terms of this kind of manipulation that would have happened had
Mhm.
we not put a break. So I
Mhm.
have given this example in the Goa context precisely to come to the conclusion that vote chori has been going on. It is only now
Mhm.
that Mr. Rahul Gandhi went into the details of it and exploded the bomb, as you rightly said.
Quick clarification, Elvis. When you speak about Panaji, you're talking about this the transfers of BLO that happened. This was during the 2024 Lok Sabha election, or was it during the 2022 Vidhan Sabha election in Goa?
This is post Vidhan Sabha elections. Now it has happened now in this year, March of this year. So it was very
Okay.
evident that there was large scale manipulation which was impending had
Mhm.
this gone ahead. And
Mhm.
that is the time, I sounded an alarm bell across Goa. Many
Mhm.
activists have come and met with me, and then we even had a sensitization workshop in
Mhm.
Panaji for about 70 people who came. And
Mhm.
even, believe me, I personally, I have to be honest to admit that I myself did not know the entire scale, the whole gamut of the import of this whole thing, what they were up to,
Mhm.
until Rahul Gandhi actually broke this out. And first I thought, maybe they are adding a few names here, adding a few names there.
Hmm.
There was intelligence, since I am from the services, I had information which suggested they would, like, add around 1,000 odd voters. If you see
Hmm.
the past electoral history, particularly in the last Lok Sabha assembly election of 2022, you
Mhm.
will find that almost 7 to 8 constituencies, the difference has been around 600 votes.
Yes. Yes.
So you can
Absolutely.
imagine now adding 1,000 votes in a particular constituency, what could be the
That's a
catastrophic
change.
effect on the electoral results. So
Mhm.
this is what has happened. So this is of this particular year. So they were in the pipeline. Everything was in the pipeline that was supposed to happen, but
Hmm.
for our intervention. I can say it is actually a divine intervention. It just happened. And now add to that, what is happening on a very big scale across the nation has come out now with Mr. Rahul Gandhi coming out with this.
So you mean to say what happened with the transfers of the BLOs? That was a model that was being tried and tested in Panjim. If it had succeeded, they were actually kind of trying to prepare for the 2027 assembly election in Goa. Is that what you're saying?
Obviously, because see, there is no other inference that can be drawn from one order among the 40 constituencies that are there assembly in Goa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just summarily shifting practically the whole lot of booth level officers out
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
getting some other people in. See, this is very important. Getting who are the people and who has recommended. This answer never came out. I also
Mm-hmm.
did not press too much because the missionary was quite cooperative. I actually
Yeah.
wanted to delve into this question then, that
Mm.
on whose recommendation have we appointed a new set of officers? Okay, that
Yeah.
question still remains open. So that is what I'm saying. Only in Panaji constituency they had replaced them,
Mm-hmm.
but for our intervention, and it's obvious. See, there is no other inference you can draw from what they were attempting to do. It was sheerly to manipulate the
Mm-hmm.
electoral voters list, and
Mm-hmm.
the results would be there to see thereafter. And
So I
who knows?
quickly
In the
want,
past, they have done it. They have done it in the past.
without being
Yeah.
caught.
Yes,
So
without being caught.
Elvis, I quickly want to dive into your past experience as an officer in the Goa government, I'm pretty sure you would have overseen elections during your career, and you have experience with what happens on the other side of the fence, how the government conducts elections, part of the SEC, the State Election Commission, and all of that. So my question as a layperson is today that when I made my voter card, I had to go through a lot of checks. The BLO came, he did the verification, address verification, all of that documentation. It's a lengthy process to apply for uh, a voter card. It's not an easy process. So when there are such checks and balances, and the ECI is responsible for creating these electoral roles, how, I mean, unless it is absolutely concerted effort and you know what you're doing, this cannot happen. Can you shed light on this?
Yeah. I will shed light on that. Now, up to the time I was there in the system,
Mhm,
believe me, I have never come across a story or attempt even to manipulate. Forget something getting manipulated. Attempt to manipulate. I think the system was quite fair. Election commission was respected. The election officers were respected, and there was no possibility of somebody trying to tamper or add voters on this scale. I don't say it was not possible. Maybe on a very minuscule scale, somebody would insert somebody's name,
hmm,
though they were not eligible voters. Now you are
hmm,
talking about your eligibility. You have become eligible, yet you have to go to through so many nitty-gritties of the system to get yourself registered.
hmm,
Having said that, the climate has changed in the past couple of years.
hmm,
The election machinery, the climate that surrounds them, and that is very visible now,
hmm,
because I will. I have pointed out after my partial success in getting the BLOs, removed, the order stayed. I have
hmm,
even further pointed out to the election commission an instance of four names, pinpointing the serial numbers, and these names are, of Nepali origin,
hmm,
like serial number 331 Khadak Jaigad, Arjun Nepali, Dal Bahadur, Min Bahadur Kotkeni, where the probability of them having, getting a voting card is very remote by their nationality. Okay,
exactly.
Indian
Hmm,
citizen is entitled to vote here and take part in elections, but not a foreigner. This is what the election commission says. Now, when they're
yes.
talking about SIR in Bihar,
Hmm,
very much. But how these names find their way in the electoral roll, and there are several
hmm,
such instances which have come to light now. As
hmm,
days go by, we will work on that. But past and present, there is a vast difference from what it was before and what it is now. I don't say the officers here are not good. My one
hmm,
experience when I tackled these booth level officers, was not was quite fair, I can say. Maybe
hmm,
because some of them were my colleagues in the system still there.
hmm,
They have taken it in proper stride.
hmm,
But looking at what is happening across the country, it is a day is not far when such a thing will percolate here also, and that is
hmm.
why we have to be on guard. Now, the caution is the biggest this thing that people have to take.
Yes. So, especially because Goa has such a small population, and lesser density of population compared to the rest of the country, even a small manipulation, a small change, even at a small scale, can shift entire elections for us. Do you agree with this?
Very much. See, if you see the present Chief Minister of Goa,
Hmm.
he has won by 666 votes. Okay, precisely.
Number of the devil.
The Panaji MLA has also won in the range of 6 to 700 votes. So there are
Hmm.
several constituencies. I have said it just now that people who have won by a very slender margin. One
Hmm.
MLA has won by hardly 60 votes. So
Hmm.
when you win by 60 votes, 600 votes, 700 votes, all that you can, hope for is a slight manipulation here and slight manipulation there can tilt the results in anyone's favor.
Yeah.
And to work out the arithmetics, it is not a tall order in a small constituency where average voter is about 30 to 35,000.
Hmm.
Unlike
Hmm.
Mahadevpura, where we are talking about 6 lakhs plus
Yeah.
voters. And that
Hmm.
also 6 lakhs have become in the last few years
Yeah.
from 3 lakhs.
Yes.
Quantum jump of number of
Yeah.
voters, which itself suggests. But
Yeah.
then there is an inbuilt mechanism there where 4% is the trigger. I still remember
Hmm,
surge in
hmm, hmm.
voters that go beyond 4% over a period that is earmarked actually should trigger the mechanism and unilaterally without even anybody's intervention, suo moto. They have to work on that and verify 100% what has
Mhm,
happened, how this sudden surge has come.
mhm.
So yes, very small difference here and there can tilt the balance, and I've given you example of two constituencies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Elvis. Now I want to come to the context of um, so according to MG Dev Sahai MG, the retired IS officer, I had an interview with him and I had this discussion, and he shared that the voter manipulation is not only happening in terms of the addition of fraudulent voters, but also the deletion, like how they are doing officially now in Bihar through the SIR. Now, ECI has just yesterday I was reading in the Supreme Court, they are refusing to share the names and the details of the people that they want to delete from the list. They're refusing all disclosure as to what the result of their entire exercise of SIR in Bihar. They are not going to disclose the details at all. And already the list that they had released on the 1st of August, Tejasvi Yadav took a press conference yesterday and he shared that duplicate voters have been found in the final list also after the SIR. And now, suddenly, chronologically, after that, we see that suddenly the State Election Commission of Bihar has made that data into uh, images. They're non scannable. You cannot cross check anything. What is your perspective when you see something like this happening?
I can only say that transparency has become the last word, but we should not, leave it at that. What
Hmm.
the law mandates, this is a constitutional body, the makers of the constitution had entrusted them with certain responsibility, and this, though they come from the system, from within the administrative services, when they occupy those chairs, they get completely insulated, and they have to be insulated from either anybody. Forget the opposition, even the ruling. They have to play a very, very neutral role, and that is what they say. If you go through their documents, they say, like I have just read it. They say we believe in healthy, pure, transparently prepared electoral rolls as the foundation for free and fair and credible elections. Now, what is happening is far removed from what they preach about themselves. I can take you back a little in time. This whole thing started. The panic in the government, the BJP government, started when the Supreme Court ruled that the selection of the election commission would be done by a three-member panel, which would consist of the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, and the Chief Justice of India. It was perfect.
Yes.
Now this is a referee in a match. The referee is appointed by a panel that consists of diverse people occupying top constitutional positions. Now, what prompted the BJP to do away with the Chief Justice from the selection panel? See, this itself is a pure, clear indicator and a pointer to what was in store and what they were aiming for. So immediately they tweaked the law and they said no, Prime Minister and his colleague and one leader of opposition. So it is fait accompli. Whom they would want, they would place, and that is what they have done by placing this Mr. Yanish Kumar here in the helm of affairs. And that man thinks like as if there is no tomorrow. That what he says is the ultimate word, and that is why these things are happening. The transparency is the last word. We had moved to an age of transparency through the Right to Information Act given by the UPA government in 2005. See, such advanced thinking on from statesman called Dr. Manmohan Singh and his team. But now we have regressed back, and it is not only shameful; it is the world that is watching that in the largest democracy, which we claim to be in the world, is regressing back.
Absolutely.
Voter frauds are taking place, manipulation is taking place, nothing is transparent. So therefore, uh, he has to be taken to task. The election commission has to be taken to task, and of course, the vanguard of the hope is the Supreme Court. And now that the Supreme Court has taken cognizance, we expect something. But at the same time, the public pressure that has to come, the people on the
Yes.
streets, like it has begun today, has to be kept up unless this public pressure, increases by the day. They may be too complacent and they may just run roughshod over everything because there have been several instances, even uh, justice sometimes get delayed, and then it's all done and dusted, and by the time things are looked through the judicial lens, it becomes a little late. So therefore, the public
Yeah.
pressure I would put in the order of importance as number one, and of
Hmm.
course the judiciary has to be alert to what is happening in the country, because this is a constitutional issue. This is finally whether this nation will survive under the constitution that was given to us in 1950.
Absolutely. Another aspect I wanted to quickly address with you. This is a question that's been burning in my mind since the 7th of August, since Shri Rahul Gandhiji's press conference took place. Looking at the responses coming from ECI ever since. First of all, it is completely unbecoming of an institution of that power that stems from the Constitution of India, which is an independent constitutional body that is responsible for free and fair elections. Um, when they're talking about him giving an affidavit, they are saying that what he's saying is misleading, but they're not categorically saying that the data that he presented is wrong. So I see in one context they have a problem with what Rahul Gandhi ji has presented, but seemingly that the electoral roll, there's no problem with the electoral roll. On the flip side, there is the SIR that has happened and concluded, where they are actually going and revising the voter list, deleting names and not disclosing the names of those that they have deleted. So to me, the incongruence is very apparent, that the logic in one situation is something else and the logic in the SIR situation is something else. If there is no problem with the electoral list in Bihar, like what they're saying in the situation with Rahul Gandhi, then why are they doing the SIR?
Exactly, this is the contradiction in terms, and they have lost all sense of shame. This is all I can say right now. On one side, they are talking about SIR, and they are talking about SIR being extended to several other states also.
Hmm.
I have
Yes.
no problem with that later part, but right now the elections are too close, in Bihar for this kind of SIR, which was never in the imagination of anybody. So they are devising new and new methods, ingenious
Hmm.
methods they are coming out with to see that the results go in their favor.
Hmm.
One thing you have to, note very carefully is the first person to react to
Hmm.
what Mr. Rahul Gandhi had said on 7th of August.
Hmm.
He is none other than the Chief Minister of Maharashtra,
Hmm.
Mr. Devendra Fadnavis.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about Madhapura in Bangalore Central, there was a story sometime in June, much
Hmm.
before, about voter roll manipulation in the very constituency in which Devendra Fadnavis, CM of
Yes.
Maharashtra, has contested.
Yes.
So there you can see that suddenly that fear or the guilt and nothing should come to me lest I lose
Yes.
my seat. This kind of reactions are seen
Hmm.
among them.
Yes.
What I can say is, yes, it is a contradiction that on one side they are calling Rahul Gandhi to file an affidavit. It's so silly when they even talk like that. You know what this affidavit is all about? When the draft is being prepared,
Hmm.
okay, see, voter registration takes place through a particular method which is there.
Yes.
If you want to register, you can all the time, upload your application. That's an ongoing process.
Hmm.
And when the draft is brought out, generally it is brought out sometime in October of every year. And
Hmm.
when the draft is brought out, if you have any objection, that is the time you have to, sign a form and give them.
Yes.
And even that oath that you are talking about, it is
Hmm.
not a mandatory oath. It is a discretion of the officer. Now,
Yes.
in other words, this officer who is, under command and control of the ECI from Delhi, poor fellow, CEO, whoever is sitting in the state, he is under a direction that, obtain this oath, affidavit.
Hmm.
What does it mean? Mr. Rahul Gandhi has to sign an affidavit in 1 lakh 250 cases.
Hmm.
According to me, in my opinion, it appears like that. That look,
Yeah.
you have raised objection precisely. You have come out with a figure of 1 lakh 1 lakh 250 odd cases.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah.
file affidavit in that. It is not humanly possible. They are supposed to take so much cognizance
Yes.
day in and out of something that
Hmm.
comes to their notice. And look, here is a a tall leader, a leader of opposition in the parliament, India's
Hmm.
highest lawmaking body, bringing
Mhm.
it out.
Yeah.
It was
Very.
incumbent
Yes.
upon you to take cognizance of that and start working.
Mhm.
Now they don't want to admit, because the moment they admit, a can of worms will open up, and that is
Uh,
what is going to eat them up. So this
yep.
is the worry. This is the real worry for them. And the other
Mhm.
side, they are doing just the opposite. They are just disenfranchising people whom they believe will not vote for them. Coming back to the
Yes.
Goa context, I'll tell you,
Mhm.
in the last election of 2022, there were several instances where
Hmm.
people have gone very happily to vote and have not found their names.
Yes.
And 100% of these cases which I analyze in Panaji constituency, where whom BJP believed would never vote for them. How is it
Yes.
possible? A 75, 80-year-old woman also could not vote, who had voted just 4 months before in the local body elections.
Yeah, and it
So the
was
pattern is clear.
whether you are Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or whatever religion, if they have that little insight that you are not going to vote for them, those people, they were struck off.
They are struck off because you have to admit one thing, and you have to give them the credit, the BJP particularly, they work on this system day in and out. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
They categorize people into different zones, different
Mm-hmm.
color codes rather. They used to do it in color codes, I know that. And
Mm-hmm.
those who come in the red flag category, these are voters, the slightest, the remotest like chance they get to delete that person, they
They
will
do.
get him deleted. So that brings you to deletion of voters. It is not just addition of voters, it is deletion of voters also. It's a double-edged sword that they are using. One side they will cut, and other side also they will cut. Whom they don't like, they will remove. Whom they want, they will get added not once, multiple times also.
And I think the worst part of the whole situation is when the deletion happens, there is absolutely no notification that goes to the person that they have been struck off from the list. There is no notification. Only when they go to the booth to vote, they realize that their name is no longer there in the voter roll.
In theory, it is there. Notification has to go. In theory, it is very much there.
Yes.
Even the political parties are to be sounded. But what
Hmm.
happens is that remains only in letter. Practically, it doesn't happen. Most
Yeah.
of the time, it doesn't happen. So that brings me to the key question of the booth level officers. The kind of this thing, the kind of power that they enjoy in this whole thing. I don't say enjoy, they command,
Hmm.
is tremendous and humongous. In the sense, you just get one level officer higher than the BLO, who is of the rank of Mamladar in the state of Goa. Some places they would call them Tehsildars.
Hmm.
This two combination of these two key officials is enough to do the damage.
Yeah.
If they are compromised, it's just over. Unless your antennas are working full time, unless you have people on the job full time to stop
Hmm.
that, what is happening. If you have no, this kind of diligence is not put in by political parties or anybody who matters, these
Hmm.
officials can play havoc. And add to that, I will tell you, though there is punishment prescribed,
Hmm.
if you get your name voter added, and if I raise objection and your name gets deleted, you can
Hmm.
be punished. You
Hmm.
can definitely be punished, because there is a provision in the RPA Act whereby
Hmm.
you can be prosecuted for that, for giving
Hmm.
false affirmation declaration. Who is
Yeah.
using? So time has come now to send some BLOs, some Mamladars to jail
Hmm.
on this. As a
No.
long-term solution, we have to start, the deterrence has to begin, where the people who have given wrong declarations and got their
Hmm.
names included, or given false declarations and got people deleted, somebody
Hmm.
has to go to jail. Unless this happens, there is no good solution that may come out. Otherwise these things will continue, because ultimately the machinery that works
Hmm.
for the election system is the same machinery that is under the administrative control of the government of the day in the state.
Yes.
Okay, for a particular time, like I have done election duty in the past, for a particular time, you get insulated, you are under the umbrella of the election commission. And
Hmm.
if the election commission itself is compromised, then what is left?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a government that tells you to work in a particular way. You have an election commission that also endorses what the government is saying. So the election commission has practically become an extended arm of the government. Is like another department. The autonomy which the election commission has to enjoy and should exercise is severely missing.
I swear, I'm I was watching an interview by Yogendra Yadav ji last night, and he shared this particular incident where in 2004, he was invited by the Election Commission of India. This was after the tenure of TN session and the whole overhaul that happened in ECI. Um, I think the election commissioners of 70 countries were invited to India, and Yogendra Yadav ji was invited by ECI to talk about how ECI conducts elections in the largest population, largest democracy in the world. And he actually got emotional while sharing this, that it was such a big honor and a thing of pride that in front of, like, Britain did not have an election commission till quite till the later part of the last century. uh, so he was talking about, like, we used to, like, the integrity, the reputation of ECI was impeccable. Nobody could question it, because before anybody could ask, disclosure, availability of data, everything was maintained by ECI in such a way that the mandate that they have from the Indian Constitution, they fulfilled that and more. Not that I'm not, he also said, not that I'm saying that ECI was absolutely perfect, but it was very near perfect. Now, what do you say about that?
Yes, I suppose so, because my personal experience also points towards that ECI was doing really a commendable job until this regime has come, and they won a lot of accolades for that. And what Mr. Yogendra Yadav has said is perfectly right. Uh, but what has happened is some dilution has taken place in the sense. Okay, one more thing I must tell you, talking about
Hmm.
Yogendra Yadav and what the number of countries that had sent their election commissions to India.
Hmm.
There was a time when the officials who were
Hmm.
working for the elections, state government officials, generally state government officials, one observer would come from the another state, and so many observers. One chief used to come,
Hmm.
and everything was going very good. If an
Hmm.
official was found in some lapses
Hmm.
that particular time and had the order to come for disciplinary action against that official from the election commission, it was something that would stick to you for a long time.
Yeah.
It was not easy, no matter what, even a very favorable government would come into power thereafter. It was
Hmm.
difficult for that government to, remove that
Stain.
stain from you, because the paperwork that had got developed by then was
Hmm.
too much for you to come out of that. Today, brazenly, the officials, they feel free to do what it pleases them, because they know. And that is why I said, the election commission sounds to be like an extended arm of the government, because now that kind of fear is simply missing. Now
Hmm.
they're towing the line, they're towing the line of the government, and therefore they don't care. They say, we will do what pleases us, what commands come, and
Hmm.
that is how they get away with it. So yes, Yogendra Yadav's time, that time when he addressed, as you said, it is a long time after water has flown down the river, things have changed.
Yeah, absolutely. For the purposes of whoever watches this video, I also wanted to quickly share, right after the ECI, sorry, the state commissioner of the ECI in Karnataka requested, or rather demanded, that Shri Rahul Gandhi ji should submit that affidavit under 23B, or he should apologize. OP Rawat, the former CEC, he came out and he gave a statement that, uh, back in the day, it was always how ECI functioned, that whenever, even if it was somebody from the public or civil society that raised a query, he said, and that too, this is the leader of opposition, if anybody from any party had an objection about the electoral roll, about the method in which an election was conducted, the ECI would take suo moto cognizance and immediately start the investigation into the matter. There has never been a requirement of an affidavit, and he clearly said that you probe, do not go into a formal, receiving of a complaint from the LOP. What do you say about this, Elvis?
That's why I said, see, there is nothing called, a direction that can be given. And who is a CEO to tell Mr. Rahul Gandhi of all the people? The CEO of a state who
Mhm.
represents the election commission in that state, I don't think he has any locus standi to say that you are misleading and all that kind. You just said about apology and all this question simply doesn't arise.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, but in the case of Goa, I will tell you when I pointed out the names of these sounding to be foreign origin names,
Mhm. Mhm.
that they could not be.
Mhm.
Uh, Thankfully, they have actually started an inquiry. The result is still not out, but it's been a long time now. On 1st
Mhm.
of July, they have told the DEO to go
Mhm.
into this complaint which I have given. So maybe from place to place it changes. I don't know. Bigger states, more pressure from the ECI, and
Yeah.
smaller states just overlook. Maybe, okay, you do your normal job, it doesn't make much of a difference, perhaps. But
Mhm.
according to me, Mr. Rawat has said is absolutely clear and in no uncertain terms he has said it, and that is the truth of the matter.
Mhm.
CEO has no business to tell Rahul Gandhi what he has told.
Absolutely. Now, I want to come to the more, I would say, politically emotional part of the discussion, Elvis. Um, when we look at it, look at this whole scenario, the model that has been exposed by the ECI, as a layperson, and whoever now I've been talking to, it seems highly seditious. It's literally treasonous that this has been allowed to occur. Rather, from how ECI has been behaving, it literally feels like Amit Malviya has taken over the PR department for ECI, and ECI is speaking like the BJP, like an extension of BJP. What do you feel as a citizen today? And you're also a former bureaucrat to sit in the world's largest democracy and see this happening.
One good thing, the myth of center around this government has got busted.
Mhm.
Okay, the invincibility from where it comes also has got exposed. That election commission has been playing a big role. The
Yes.
election machinery, I can say the entire machinery down the line has been playing a big role in
Mhm.
their invincibility, so-called invincibility. That is
Mhm.
why these people go very much on the defensive. When they don't have locus standi to defend the election commission, let the election commission defend itself. It's an
Yes.
autonomous body. What are you talking? You get my point. So every
Mhm.
citizen, not only Mr. Rahul Gandhi as a
Mhm.
leader of
Mhm.
one of the largest political parties in the nation, but every citizen matters here.
Yes.
You have to take cognizance of what the citizens are saying. It is the voice of the citizen that should matter more than anything else. So what the election commission little credibility that was left has also got shattered now, and it is getting shattered more because of the defensive approach that they have adopted. They could
Absolutely.
very clearly say, okay, we will look into this whole aspect and gone about
Mhm.
their job.
Yes.
It's very simple, even as a bureaucrat, former bureaucrat, if something comes to notice which in the eyes of someone has been wrong and has been
Mhm.
wrongly done by us,
Mhm.
it's absolutely justified to tell the person, look, I will go into this, I will
Mhm.
see where the lapses have occurred, and if I come to a conclusion that yes, something has happened, then we'll see what is the course of action to be taken.
Mhm.
But they're just going on the defensive. Summarily, they're just telling Rahul Gandhi, file an affidavit, apologize. This is a clear language of fear. A
Yes.
fear has set in that the nation has now begun to know that
Yes.
the BJP government is not invincible. It can be brought down.
I completely agree with you, Elvis. And I would like to add to this that, after this expose, I feel I have found BJP to be completely politically impotent. That if you take away the support of the ECI, ED, all these machinery that they have systematically compromised to support them in winning, you find BJP to be completely politically impotent. That the illusion that India's sentiment is with Modi, that has been completely shattered.
Yes, that has got shattered now, all the more. And it was getting shattered in due course of time. It had started actually. The
Mhm.
trend had started and it was reflected in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. But
Mhm.
now, having seen the proof of lies in the eating of the pudding. So now that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has brought this out,
Mhm.
it is abundantly becoming clear. that even the last 2024, as Mr. Rahul Gandhi says,
Hmm.
large number of seats would have got manipulated and the
Yes.
results have been different.
Yeah.
It is true.
Basically, Prime Minister wouldn't be the Prime Minister if this hadn't happened. Quickly, would
So
like to
let's be
conclude,
fair,
Elvis.
at the end of the day, this nation of
Mhm,
1.4 billion people just can't afford
mhm.
this kind of systems to work. We
Yeah.
need better systems, we need foolproof systems, we need transparent systems. Otherwise, see, it is about the last man, the poorest of poor who matter in this nation. That is where, the suffering comes from. And we feel because unless there is transparency, unless good systems work,
Hmm.
the ultimate loser is that person, not that 1% or 2% people whom you patronize as a government. The whole thing
Yes.
is revolving around a few personalities.
Hmm.
It's nothing to do with the rest of the majority of the people. And I'm telling you, believe me, this has nothing to do with religion again. Religion is imported just to, deflect the attention from all the misdemeanors that are happening in every field.
Absolutely.
Every
It's a
field. Name
decoy.
the field, everywhere the misdemeanors are just covered up by bringing in the religion. So
Hmm.
now I think time has come. People have understood. People are understanding. And it is also, see, I also blame some of the opposition parties, including
Hmm.
my party. They are not alert to what is happening all the time.
Hmm.
Okay, timely action, a stitch in time saves nine.
Hmm.
So therefore, we have to be alert. We have to be cautious. Every single day, our radar has to be overactive. Antennas have to be tuned in to see what is
Yes.
happening around and put a stop at that particular time when it matters.
Hmm.
Okay, this is not only Rahul Gandhi's responsibility. Rahul Gandhi has now brought out the larger picture of 1 lakh 250 voters, the
Mhm,
larger picture. But
mhm.
had this done at a very grassroots level by the entire machinery that works, or rather
Yes.
supposed to work, these things would not have happened. And it would have had a huge bearing on the governance of the country. We have to understand that, we have to realize that. What are the consequences of what has happened? The
Hmm.
consequences of what has happened are simply catastrophic to the common man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in conclusion, Elvis, I would ask you, what would you share as a summary of whatever we've discussed today? What would be your message to the people of Goa, and what would be your message to the people of India? But starting with Goa.
Yeah, very much. It's more to do with Goa as far as I'm concerned. The message to the people of Goa is loud and clear. Okay, the entire population, call it 1.5 million or 1.6 million, must first know that there is something like this that has been happening, and it has been brought out by Mr. Rahul Gandhi on a international scale, like,
Hmm.
international stage, you can say. See, it is also the world that is watching, I must say. And
Absolutely.
therefore, unless people take notice of what is happening and exercise caution, and I have been also repeatedly nowadays, I've been telling people since the last 2, 3 months, look out,
Hmm.
check your electoral roll, check whether your own name is there. It is like,
Yes.
the time has come where people check their blood pressure on daily basis, diabetes, sugar level on daily basis. Time has come to just open
Yes.
the website and check whether you figure there. You can help
Mhm.
4, 5 people in your family to figure out whether their names exist, because this is
Yes.
the stage we have come to. This is a very worrying stage we have reached, where we do not know whether our name will be there by the time we go for voting. So once this is achieved, a
Mhm.
lot will become difficult for these manipulators to manipulate the way they want. Ultimately, Goa as an entity is out for sale, you know that. And how
Yeah.
it is getting sold, lock, stock, barrel, we have been witnessing in the past couple of years.
Mhm.
That is very, again, very emotionally, which we attach to the land, and therefore it worries us that whether the entity will remain as it is or will be just sold out. So, unless electorally we are alert enough, these marauders who come by, breaking the rules of the game with a
Mhm.
referee on their side, will continue to do more damage. And therefore, my message to the people of Goa is simply be alert. Yours are very small constituencies, small blocks. Go through it, catch hold of your BLO, check the antecedents of your BLO, whom his allegiance is to, whether it is to the system or to a particular personality, political
Mhm.
personality. Then many things can be corrected. And I also must tell to the people of Goa that if you do not know the ways and means of how to go about it, please feel free to contact us. This is my
Yes.
message to the people of Goa. On a larger scale, India is my nation. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. So I must tell them the same thing, that uh, as a nation, we are a very strong nation. Our inherent strength comes from us, the people of India. And that is what our forefathers, the founders of this republic, knew, the strength of the people. The strength of the people finally gave us the independence from the British rule. Not any, it didn't come from anywhere else. And through a non-violent movement, that too, with great leaders like Gandhiji, Ambedkar, Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and so many of them, so many who sacrificed their lives. And we have to remember our past and stand on the strong foundation that we the people of India were. And these are aberrations. They will come. We have to remove them. The faster we remove them, the better we will be in time to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing this message, Elvis. And it is also my humble request to everybody. What Elvis has shared is a very important aspect. I would say check your name on the voter list 1 year before you go to vote. Check your name again 6 months before you go to vote. Check your name again 3 months before you go to vote. Do this check for you and your family. The more we can decentralize this and take ownership as citizens, we can fight against this systematic subterfuge that is being done by the ECI. We need to be vigilant. And as Elvis rightly has shared, if you want any help in how to verify your name on the voters list, please feel free to reach out to us, reach out to him. We are, all of us are available on social media. You can get in touch with us and we would be most happy to walk you through the whole process. It's a very simple process, very quick. You can, how you can verify your vote, your name on the voters list. So this is something that can be done and should be done before our assembly elections come in 2027. And so with this, thank you so much, Elvis, for sharing your
Yeah,
time.
I'm honored actually to be part of this democratic dialogue. The people of the stature of Parakala Prabhakaran also has been interviewed, and so many. I've seen the great names that have got interviewed here, and I'm honored to be also here.
Thank you. No, no, we are honored to have you with us, and coming from the experience that you have, as an ex-bureaucrat, and how much you know about the system. It's completely our honor to have your insights that we can share with the people of Goa and the rest of India. So thank you so much for that, and for all the viewers, please show us your love. Whatever you think about the conversation today, please comment, like, share this with video who are like people who are like-minded, and do subscribe to the channel so that we can reach out to more people. We are of course back with a bang after some time. I took a bit of a hiatus, but I'm back, and there's a lot of things going on and a lot to be spoken about, so stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. Thank you so much and wishing you a great day.
Okay, thank you.